Okay, without further ado, the 10.2 tier list. This tier was awesome. We exceeded my expectations, and I think everybody's expectations by a good amount. I think a lot of that has to do with some of the awesome players that we picked up between tiers, at the beginning of this tier. And a lot has to do with the improvement of the existing players, just preparation, stuff like that. So I guess we'll go ahead and go through everybody. No surprise here who the first one is. It's already up on the screen. We've got Molten, or Eggman, as he is known to everybody with his stupid emote that he types in. Glad that he finally figured out how to put emotes into Discord and tag people with it. Molten joined us at the end of last year, I believe, after we'd gotten CE, but just kind of sat around until it was ready to start the new tier. The only reason he passed his trials is because he sucked up to be big time without knowing it. I don't think he knew that it was me that he was talking about when he was filleting how good our raid leaders callouts were. But it worked. So he passed his trial. This year he did really well. He was Remco's little brother, all tier. Remco's just got him a pips last night. Definitely wouldn't have given him that if Remco's hadn't said it was okay to give it to him. So he got that. I think overall Molten did a good job this tier, but there's definitely room for improvement. I look forward to what he does next year. Molten is solidly B tier. All right. We're just going to go sort of in order here. I'm going to try to avoid spoilers. All right, next, Arklos. This is Arklos's first tier. As an officer, he just came off of his MVP award from Aberys. Arklos did a great job this tier. Exceptional gameplay, very good mechanics. I don't think that he was really ever the problem in any fights, except for early on in Prague. There was one fight. It was Council Dreams, right? And this is probably my favorite Arklos moment so far. Let's forget paint up here real quick. Arklos on Council Dreams. Just bear with me for a second and pardon my bad drawing skills. But this is the arena where you fight the Council Dreams, right? And Bob is this guy. I'm this guy, right? And then the bear guy is like right here, right? This is the bear. And he does a big dangerous frontal that points here once and then points here after, right? And so Arklos, and it's okay, everyone makes mistakes and people still made this on Reclair, but on Prague, Arklos was, I assume, like this guy and got the green swirly on him, right? Like this. And he says, all right, I am just going to go right here with the green swirly. And he died, right? Because he got hit by the frontal here, because that's where we have the frontals pointed. And if I'm being, this is also like really generous for how big it is. Like the room is really like this. There's really not that much room to go out there, right? And so when I said, hey, just don't go over there, Arklos was tilted at dying. And he says, where else could I have gone? Where do you want us to go? I'd like everybody to study the diagram. And if anybody could like help Arklos out, I don't know if he still doesn't know where to go. There were other spots he could have gone. I don't know. He could have gone here, or 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 here. I think there are other spots Arklos could have gone. If you guys can let him know any other spots you can think of that he could have gone to not die, just hit him up. So that was that stuck with me all tier. I thought it was really, really funny, and I know you're just tilted at dying, but that probably gets you knocked down to C tier. So just don't blame me next time you get by a frontal, and maybe you can go up a little bit in ranking. You are our number one mom, though. Next, Blixo. This is Blixo's first full tier. He joined us last tier on Echo of Neltharion, stepped in, was playing Og when Og was fun. This tier, he was stuck playing Og when Og was not fun. But I did tell him that, and I told the whole raid that anybody that wanted to do the duck job would automatically get bumped up one tier, right? Just for doing it, right? Because a lot of guilds early on were saying, nobody wants to do it. It's not fun. They don't get to participate in the game. So Blixo said, you know what? I'll do it. And so he did a really good job. He panicked a bit. Sounded like we were always about to die whenever he was doing it. But eventually it was just like when Myth would do the thing on Razageth. Blixo said, when he just started screaming, I figured we were going to die. So Blixo gets up one tier. Blixo did okay this tier. Definitely room for improvement. I think he's going to swap to Monk, go for something he's a little more comfortable on. Blixo's biggest thing is that he just wants he wants two things, right? He wants to know what else he can spend his money on. He really wants to spend his money. I don't know why, but he wants to spend it, right? And then he also, at the same time, really wants somebody to love him. There are ways to combine those two desires. You can fix that, right? With one fixes the other. So I think you can do that. So Blixo, with your +1 automatic tier, you are D tier. Nice job this tier. All right. Next person, Mask On. Okay. We love Mask On. This is Mask On's second full tier with us. I believe he joined us at the very start of Aberrus last year. It's not really his fault. It's that Boomkin has just been like utter dog shit the whole expansion. It just has been. And Guardian Druid wasn't great this tier. And Resto Druid definitely wasn't great this tier. So it was like you had to play Feral Druid or Resto or Moonkin. I think if we're back in like the Castle Nathria, whatever the raid, Sanctum raids, right? We'd see Mascon pop off. Mascon did an admirable job this tier. He stepped in when we needed him to on Farrak and had basically the fewest pulls of anybody, maybe other than Parsed, and stepped in and got CE with us when we had a couple absences. So like big ups to Mascon. He didn't complain a single time when I told him, hey, look, you're going to have to be on the last two fights. Boomkin just sucks. You're not like super awesome at Feral, so we're just going to roll this way. And he didn't complain once. He was there the whole time, watching, learning, hopped in, and went. Anybody that doesn't know the story behind this picture of his makes me laugh a bit. I won't go too into details. Well, I'll go into details. He this is several months ago. We're doing an alt raid, and he was playing a priest that he hadn't played in a long time, I guess. And the guy he was playing was named Togaff, right? Toggaf. And I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, that's an interesting name. What's Togaff? And Mascon, without missing a beat, says, oh, that means tugboat in Swedish. So I'm like, okay, I really didn't think anything of it for several months. And then towards the end of last year, I saw Mascon log out of his character, and I read the name backwards, and it was more clear to me what that name meant. And Vaughn reached out to him and said, hey, if you want to keep raiding here, change that name. And he said the exact right thing that didn't get him lobbed. He just said, yes, sir. And he had it changed immediately. So Mascon, you did a good job this tier. Hopefully Boomkin's better next tier. Great job stepping in to fill in and get a CE. You are A tier. Chi P. This tier's most valuable raider. Beautiful Tabard of Frost. I love that. I know that you cherish that transmog item. It looks great on you. It's super rare. And you're just a very handsome lad. This tier's most valuable raider. Again, awesome job, especially on Farrak. I think everyone's seen the clip by now of him saving the kill by picking up that thing on the corrupted seed off the floor. That Arklos had to drop off. So really nice job, really good job healing this tier. I really don't have anything negative to say about Chi-Chi. He pogged out, wanted to know what he could do better. He is the sort of like what you want as a raider on your team. Plays for the team, waits until farm to get his, approaches it in the right way, like, hey, what can we do this, this, and this here to help me with my parse after the fact. And that I thought that was really good. So Chi-Chi, I hope you're around for a long time. Because you got MVR, we'll go ahead and put you up in S tier. So nice job. G quit. Did not want to make his own picture. Said just make me a stick figure. So I crowdsourced this. This is the drawing here, and the saying is from your Pookie. Your Pookie did this. So this is, he thinks highly of you. And I wrote your name in the heart at the bottom because I wanted it to flow the same way as everyone else's. G, in his first full tier back after evaporating at the end of last tier, didn't get to heal like we would hope, but G played a huge part in us getting CE from, being the Boomkin guy, and then being he was our Mark of the Wild primarily on Prague. He learned Feral, hated every second of it, and made sure everybody knew about it on Tendril, and then played Boomkin for most of Farok, but then changed during the very last day after not really having healed any meaningful Farok pulls, and played Holy to get a CE. So the 3-spec multi-class performance was super admirable. We love having you around. The artwork that you draw for everybody is super appreciated. I appreciate you. Everybody here loves you. Please keep it up. Hopefully we get back. Well, not hopefully. We'll get you back to healing soon, because I know that that's what you're most comfortable with and happy doing. G quit. You were out of the dumpster this tier since you stuck around the whole time. You are S tier. All right, next. Buffaroos. Buffaroos joined us at the end of Smolderon or the beginning of Tendril, I believe it was. I think that we were like casually pulling Tendril when he joined. His guild imploded after Smolderon. They didn't want to kill Tendril. Buffaroos has been an awesome addition to the team. He has a superpower that not many other people in the guild have. He's really good at log review and seeing what we can do to optimize our damage. Homie sometimes gets lost in the sauce. Okay. Quick time jump forward. Sorry, Buffaroos, to interrupt you really quick. My work called. You probably heard it. I'm not a video editor. I don't know how to cut that out, so we're just going to keep going from where we were. Buffaroos, like I think I was saying that Buffaroos has a great skill set, knows how to go through logs, really optimizes, knows how to focus on the nitty gritty. At times, Buffaroos can get lost in the sauce and want to do things that are super complicated for very little payoff, but require a lot of brain power, and that can make you mess up some of the littler things. And I think Buffaroos, if he focuses next tier on less fancy stuff and more on the straight fundamentals, no funny business, he'll be able to gain a tier or two. But Buffaroos has been an awesome addition to the team, like absolutely awesome addition to the team. If Og stays the way Og is, then Buffaroos is probably the guy that you want playing it. He will make sure that he squeezes out every ounce of performance out of that. Even if he is peepo talking a lot, that's okay. I think everybody loves him. Buffaroos, thank you for joining the team. You are B tier with room to go up. All right, next. Tricky. This is Perry, Tricky. I call him Perry or Tricky, half and half. Depends on whether I'm reading his name or thinking about it. This is his second full tier with us. He was with us for the gross bits of, well, not the gross bits. He was with us for the long prog bosses of Vault of the Incarnates, but he wasn't here for like the gross beginnings, our humble beginnings. But Tricky has been awesome. I feel bad for Tricky. He He had like 150 pulls or 200 pulls, something close to that on Farrak and didn't get the kill. He was sort of in the same boat that Mascon and Ultra were, where their classes they weren't great at the fights at the back half of the raid. And on top of that, he decided to stick with like Frost DK, the breath build, so he had to greed his damage a lot and died quite a bit. I think that he understood that. We had a little bit of a heart to heart. Maybe wasn't the best idea for the first foray back into melee. But the end of the day, Tricky was there for us when we needed him. He was happy to fill in for an hour here, an hour there, and really did a great job this tier. Especially got better and better as the tier went on. Congrats on future fatherhood. I know that that's something that is important to you. So it's super rewarding. I'm super thrilled for you. You still use Linux though, man, and that's probably just a little much. So you're gonna go C tier here with our guy Arklos. So maybe if you're on another operating system in the future, then we'll go up tiers. But until then, this is probably the ceiling for you. Sorry. Good luck. Okay, next. Vaughn, my right hand man. BF Davis, DeBrickashaw, Vontaze, sort of disappeared this tier a little bit socially in the game, but has been socially available to hide in houses and gardens and tool sheds and kill people in Tarkov. He's more a Tarkov main than anything now. So Janchi and Parst, appreciate you guys fueling his addiction there. You guys got him just straight hooked on that shit. Vaughn, you did a great job this tier. You maybe flew into Chindral's beams a few too many times. Vaughn doesn't know how to die quietly. I'm hoping that he learns how to do that in the future. But if Vaughn dies, you will know about it. You could talk to Perry or Tricky a little bit about sort of. You just say my bad. That's okay. Or not even just say anything. We all know if you died 80 yards away from us, it's because you fucking flew into a fire beam again. Like we know that. We get that. We get that it like curved at you or it like another one spawned. We understand. It's all right. I could not do all of this without you, so thank you for being there, especially when things get hard. You are a good voice of reason. So, Vaughn, you are B tier. Stop flying into stuff. Maybe hopefully there's not a dragon riding boss in 11.0. All right, next. Sour. God damn, that guy's tall. Sour, you are one of the two OGs that aren't me and Vaughn, so you made it another tier. This is Sour's third full tier with Skate Better. Was there for our very first pull of normal Aranog. You'll often find Sour changing his Discord name so that we can find SCK in the user list because SCK has nonsense as his name all the time. So Sour, thank you for always letting us know where the hospital is. Sour is always gets a bunch of votes for most valuable raider every tier for a good reason, and Sour's never out on any fights either. He does good damage and exceptional mechanics, and more importantly for me as a raid leader, Sour sees things that I don't. They're super helpful, or he will have things up on his screen that narc on people immediately. Like on Sarkareth, he always knew who like put bombs in the wrong spot by watching replays instantly. So I know that probably gets on people's nerves sometimes, but A, I think it's super helpful to know who's fucking up when people don't even realize that they are. And B, I think it's hilarious that he's there, just like got his peepo binocs on everybody at all times. So Sour, I hope you'll stick with us for a long time. Good luck on getting your axe. I know that you really want that on your paladin. That's probably the one thing that keeps you from being S tier is that you do not have your axe yet on your paladin. So because of that, we'll probably put you in A tier here with Mascon. If you get your axe soon, maybe we could talk about like a revision or something like that. But for now, you're A tier. Next, who we got? Right. He's pointing to him right above. I did this. This is on purpose. SCK, or the hospital, as everybody has come to know him. SCK, I raided with back in Sanctum Domination and a little bit in whatever came after that, and I've done a bunch of keys with him. So I'm super glad that you're here. You're fun to play with. A little quieter in raid than if you're doing like keys or something with SCK. So people don't get to know his personality quite as much. You can open up a bit, but that's okay. I think he just likes to chill out and do his own thing during raid. You are very rarely the problem when it comes to mechanics and things like that. You do a ton of damage. We are super glad that you're here. I will say one thing: you probably love your mom or your parents or your family a little too much. It's time to move on. Miss raid once in a while because you got family obligations, and that is kind of, don't like that, right? We don't like families here. So grow up, for lack of better phrasing. So I would say overall, because you know how to play all three rogues, you get to go in A tier, all three rogue guys. Good job, Mr. Hospital. Okay, next, Remkos. Oh, I almost gave spoilers for who was Bloom. I think you only saw the top of his head though. Next is Remkos. Here, what if we shrink this shit up real quick? Remkos is just like Sour. This is his third full tier here. So we all owe a lot to both of them for their dedication to the guild. Remkos is probably the opposite of Sour in how much he contributes to what's going on in the raid. I think Remkos must have someone at the beginning of each tier tells Remkos, I don't know who's telling him this, tells him, look, you're allowed to say 100 words this tier, so use them wisely. And he does. I think that even if he was given 100 words this tier, he only used 50% of his allocation. So go ahead and roll that forward into the next tier. Remkos really hates Beast Mastery Hunter, really hates it, and so I don't give him a hard time because I'd rather he have fun and hang out with us and blast bosses than hate life and have to play BM Hunter. Now he does have a little asterisk next to his name, obviously, because there are 4 people who play this spec. So I mean that's a really good parse number here, but who's your competition really? It's stupid people, right? That are dumb enough to play Marksman Hunter. So that's all I'm saying. Remkos, thank you for sticking through through thick and thin. Hopefully Hunter is viable next year and MM doesn't get gutted. Remkos, you get to go with Sour at SEK and Mascon. You are A tier. Next, the man, the myth, the legend, the person who has single-handedly made my life easier, the person that made my life that had the biggest impact on my mental well-being this tier for raid was Ranger Bob. I will fight anybody that tries to take Ranger Bob away from me. You see he's carrying me around, a little backpack there, or the baby carrier. So Bob, thank you so much for everything that you've done this tier. You really you carried me. You took care you took care of me when I needed to take care of. You reminded me to taunt even when it's on Tendril. And literally as a tank, my only job on Tendril is to taunt one time, a single time at 5 minutes and 45 seconds into the fight. I could probably put it in the note now that I'm thinking about it, where it just says Goy taunt. That's literally it. You still just say, hey, can you take the boss, please? And I love you for that. Because past tanks would have been is somebody gonna taunt? Don't need any of that. I really appreciate you understanding what I'm doing and not getting frustrated with me. You speak up when you have good ideas. You're not afraid to voice them. Super chill player. Love having you here, dude. I hope you stick around forever. You are S tier. Next, Galabon. Nice cape, idiot. Your axe looks awesome. Your accent is even better. You've won back-to-back best accent in the guild award. 2 tiers in a row. We'll probably actually formalize that since you've been written in that award twice in a row now. You have competition with Sandu. Sandu just joined. So Galabon, you have been here since same time as Perry, Tricky, I think. I always forget which warrior was in on. I think you were out on Broodkeeper, but you were in on Razageth. You have been awesome. You virtually never miss raid. You always do great mechanics. You sometimes equip the right gear. Really, no complaints when it comes to Galabon. You're a funny guy. We appreciate having you here. The only real knock against you is that we really probably need or deserve some clarification on what was going on that picture you posted in the hair channel. I was worried. I don't know, man. I don't know what you're doing. You look a little strung out, some people might say. Yeah, Galabon, keep it up. Post more pictures in the hair channel. Don't go out at 3 a.m. Nothing good happens then. You're going to end up fist fighting somebody. Galabon, please stick around forever along with Bob. Where do you go, though? I have a hard time placing you. Good accent, good damage, good mechanics, good availability. Sketchy picture. You'll be A tier here, Galabon. Good job. All right, next. Belagor. The more time goes on, the more I'm convinced that Belagor, and I've said this to many people, I think Belagor is a celebrity. Has to be, right? Why else would you refuse to talk? I'd like everybody wants to know why you won't talk. You've been here for 3 tiers now. You'd think that we could do like a voice reveal or something like that, unless you just like actually can't talk. You could tell us that. So I think the Belgor must be Henry Cavill or someone along those lines, right? That plays WoW. You do good damage, good awareness, poor communication skills, though. Very poor communication skills. And I'm hoping that you can improve on those. Maybe give us like a stretch goal or something like that that we can hit to get a voice reveal. That'd be awesome. Belagor, thanks for being along for the ride. Thank you for. I think you've been on like every fight as well. I just not someone that you can really bench. But poor communication skills. You're D tier. So work on that, Henry, and get back to me. All right, next, Janchi and his son. Janchi, we have learned, is jacked. He's like the size of a gerbil, though, right? He's a little guy. He's jacked gerbil, if you will. And he's got his little fucker there, as he likes to call him. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but in like the healing note, it says, probably you guys have no reason to see this. See if I can find it really quickly here. Here. Is this still showing on OBS? It is. We go into like Tendril, and there's this note here. It says summon little fucker after dispel. What is this? Plant your seed. He loves this guy. So, yep, plant your seed, summon little fucker. This is his BFF. I don't blame him. Janchi has done a great job this tier. Much better healer than he is a DPS. He was pretty bad as a DPS. I think everybody can agree. You have been mostly a voice of reason on the healing team until you go nonverbal. There are times when you go nonverbal, and that stresses me out when you go nonverbal. But you have done an admirable job healing. I hope you stick with it. Oh, is it cut off? Can you see the whole thing where it says "Don't talk to me or my son ever again"? There. How's that? I fuck OBS up. There we go. Don't talk to me or my son ever again. Janchi, good job this tier. You are C tier. Oh, there. You're C tier. Okay, next. I'm going to move this down a little bit so you can see more of this. I'm trying to get it so the stuff on the website doesn't show too. I'm just trying to get the picture. You know what I'm saying? All right, next. Keeper of the V. Keeper joined us. Fuck, I don't remember. Was it Smolderon? It was somewhere around there. Where we really needed another mage, right? I never want us to be without important raid buffs. And keeper mage wasn't super good this tier, and so we couldn't always have him in, and we didn't have him in on the last two fights for a long time. But he was always watching to see what we could do better. If someone was messing up, really saved us a lot of time, like a lot of prog time. By making it so we didn't have to like go through VODs ourselves and find out what went wrong. He was just watching, or I could tell him, hey, while we pull again, figure this out for us. So he was our guy in the sky. And when it was time to make a change on Farok, Keeper was ready because he knew the fight already, because he was in tune the whole time. So when I've always said we don't recruit for the bench, Keeper sort of understood that, and really, if someone is on the bench for a fight, that is how you want them to operate. You want them to still be a part of the team and not just like not there or zoned out or not paying attention. Homie was there, paying attention, got in, got CE at the same time as most of the guild, and did a great job. Looking forward to seeing what you do in the future. Maybe you could learn another spec or two of Mage. I think that you could play more than Frost. I believe it's 2024. So because you're mostly a Frost guy, you're B tier. Arcane's cool. All right, next. Kel, Augs. Kel and his completos. Kel was our disc priest for most of this tier. Holy priest on Laredar. Did a wonderful job this tier, healing. But didn't really help me with the healing cooldowns too much. Would change them occasionally without telling me or changing the sheet. So that probably knocks you down 1, 2, 3, or 4 tiers. Not sure. But this tier, Kel introduced me to the magic that are completos. And I am forever in his debt because that shit is so good. If you scroll through mine and Kel's chat history, it's like there are probably like 20 pictures of different completos that Kel has got, because that's his jam down in Chile. So I like him. Also, fun fact, the Italiano completo has nothing to do with Italy. It's called that because there's tomatoes and avocado and mayonnaise, and those are the three colors of the Italian flag. It could easily be like a Italiano Mexicano, right? Like it could be that. Just fun fact. So Kel, I am glad you got to go to Canada. I'm glad you got to spend some time there. I am positive that you're like 20 pounds heavier than you used to be, because you were eating some disgusting shit for like 2 weeks. Your body wasn't ready for it, but you're young, so maybe you're fine. Kel, good job this tier. You are D tier. Okay. Ultra. Bench boy. And boy, did he let you know it. Ultra was Warlock this tier. Obviously, ranged was not super awesome in a lot of the later fights, but Ultra was just like Keeper, around, engaged, ready to go. It just never happened to work out that a second Warlock would have been super beneficial on a lot of the fights. So I do genuinely feel bad for that. But this motherfucker can cook a pizza, right? And for that by itself, the way that pizza looked, man, got me thinking bad things. I want to go to Canada just like Kel did, but I want to go there just to get pizza. So let's see if we can make that happen. Ultra, I am glad you're here. I'm glad you're having fun this tier. You are B tier. All right, who's next? Goif. Listen, this picture is bullshit. Okay, you guys don't know how good you have it. If you go into the raid lead exchange, people are on there complaining about their tanks missing their mushroom like every 5 pulls, they're missing a green mushroom and blowing people up. Okay, so you're lucky, frankly, that I only missed like maybe it's like 1 out of every 50 pulls. Barely ever happened, especially after like the first night, right? Plus, it's super hard to tank that fight. I have to taunt at 5 minutes and 30 seconds once. It's a lot on my mind. But I probably should have been in more mushrooms. So that's my bad. I probably go in Sticks tier this tier. All right, Ghost. All right, Ghost. We got to talk. You remember your picture from last year, right? I'm sure I could find it. But it's like a radar, a mini map, right? With all the icons, everyone's spread out. And you're saying, can you guys stack? And you're not wrong to ask that, right? You should ask us to stack. But if that was such a stress to you, you were so focused on it, and rightfully so. But then you decided, you know what? I liked that punishment. I liked that bad feeling in my brain. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna play this healer that has a really short range because I want to feel the way that I felt on Forgotten Experiments for an entire tier. Don't know about that decision, right? In hindsight, we probably both agree that maybe we could take that one back. You did a good job this tier, a really good job. You stepped up and played Og on Smolderon when we needed you to. When we needed it, we needed a second Og on that kill, on that, right? You did a great job healing. It was a bummer that you couldn't be there for the CE kill. I'm glad you got it the following week. Good job overall this tier. But you sort of get the parry treatment here. Maybe in retrospect, the class, just with the range limitation and the things that are important to you in your life, not the right thing to pick. So for that, you are C tier. Okay, we're coming up to the end here. I think 3 more to go. Isidar joined us right after we started Tendril Prog. So really, Isidar was only in for one fight, and we didn't really get to hear much of Isidar's personality until after we got CE. So really, in these last couple weeks, Isidar's been talking more. Appreciate you being here. You do a fuckload of damage. I don't know. You're probably carried by your legendary. Honestly, you're probably not even the best ret paladin in the guild, but we have to let somebody play ret. Right? I can't tank and play ret at the same time. So, thank you for taking over for me while I can't do that. Excited to see what we do in the future with you. You came in like a wrecking ball and did so much damage. So good job, and you are B tier. 2 more. All right, Parsed. Mr. Money Bear. This motherfucker has the worst transmogs I have ever seen in my life. This guy pulls up to raid looking absolutely hideous. Hideous. Normally, I don't pay attention to people's character models, right? Play so zoomed out, you're not used to looking at things. I never notice people's transmogs. I notice this guy's because like a beacon, a bad beacon. He shines a spotlight on himself how bad his transmog is. But at the same time, Parse did step in and help us get our kill on Farrak along with G. I mean, 2 fresh healers on that fight is something else, right? You really stepped up that night when we needed you to. You played enhancement when we started Tendril when you had to have 8 melee. So you really played for the boys this tier, and I think that every team needs someone like Parsed, who will do whatever the team needs to win. That is definitely your most redeeming quality. I know that you'll do whatever you need. If you want, if we need you DPS, you'll DPS. If we need you heal, you'll heal. If I told you, hey man, need you to tank for a couple weeks, you'd do it. And I appreciate that about you. But fix your transmog, bud. Your Sticks tier. Sorry. Okay, and last, but certainly not least, McClunky. The man on the missile. That's what everybody's called him. I think man on the missile is what people called him in grade school. He is the same. He's the other side of the same coin the Galabon is on. Both of them joined at the same time. You have both been in more or less every fight since then. wildly consistent, great damage, good awareness. Could not be happier with your performance this tier, except, Remco's nervous. I told him he might have to do one of the seeds tonight. McClunky, great job. The only knock on you this tier is that you waited a really, really long time to get your legendary, and I think that if you had tried, just put a little more effort in, you probably get it like months earlier. So because that sort of prohibits you from being S tier, but you can go with your brain cell mate, and you are A tier along with Galabon. So that is the 10.2 tier list. I don't know if we'll make one of these for season 4. We'll see what the public sentiment is as we get through those raids and learn what Fate it'll be like. It's super fun. People look forward to it, so we'll probably do it. We might have to get G on a retainer. But really, really good job this tier, guys. I hope you enjoy this video. If you want your the high res version, quote unquote high res version of your picture, just hit me up. I'll be happy to send it to you. Take care. Bye.